Hi, Shanieka. Thanks so much for joining us for this series.
Thank you for having me, Ashley.
And we're just meeting for the first time, but Zach and Lori, I know you know both of them, and you were high on their list of people that we definitely wanted to talk to this month for Women's History Month.
Well, thank you and thank them. I hold them in very high regard as well.
So, jumping in to our questions, do you have a female mentor who's had the biggest impact on you over your career?
Yes, I would say a woman by the name of Meg Harkins. She's currently the executive vice president of Casablanca Records and Imperial Music. We worked together at Blue Note Records, the jazz label that we worked on a lot of projects together there. And it was there I got to see her firsthand brilliant ideas. She's a fearless, savvy marketer. And having that in a male-dominated field, seeing her navigate those waters was very critical for me. Um, and I know she has an innovative, out of the box way of thinking. And even after our time at Blue Note, I've seen her massively pivot in an evolving music industry. So now she's been working with a lot of K-pop groups, which is really exciting. Um, and I think beyond her professional achievements, she's an inspiring example of a successful working mother, and a dedicated advocate for gender equity as well. She actually was one of the people who put together the Voices in Entertainment Collective a couple of years ago, and everybody wore white roses at the Grammys. So that was part of
Wow,
her
yeah.
brainchild. So I'm always in awe of what she's doing and how she moves. And I don't think she knows how much she's influenced me. So shout out to Meg Harkins.
And I think it's important what you mentioned about the example she sets of being a working mother as well. That's come up in a lot of the conversations I've been having, how we still have a long way to go in making sure everything is equitable and women are still empowered to be successful when after they take maternity leave and
Yes,
everything.
yes. I think that was part of the change for me. I had a child and I was like, okay, this industry is not doing me any favors, and I don't want to wake up to 2 a.m. phone calls from managers or artists, and I don't want to be traveling back and forth so much. I want to be here for my child, and that's what made me pivot into more of the academic side of teaching the next generation of executives and entrepreneurs and musicians.
Yeah, and actually that was going to be my next question. So perfect segue. Do you want to just tell everyone a little bit more about, your role at NYU and everything that you're doing?
So currently, I am the program manager at the Sony Audio Institute, which is a hub, an interdisciplinary hub for creators here in the music department, namely music technology and music business, to really broaden their minds and give them opportunities that really have not existed. We do student programming, we have artists in residence activities, we do a lot of research with Sony, and they are our collaborators in this endeavor. Um, Before that, I was actually an academic advisor here at NYU in the music business program. So I could probably count for about 1,000 or so students who've come through the program over, say, 10 years, that I've worked with and give guidance to, and really, I guess, put my touch point on them from my experiences when I worked in the music industry directly.
Yeah, and when you were having those conversations as an advisor, what were some of the themes coming up, especially when advising young women who were going into the industry?
Some of the themes that were coming up were definitely of, I want to say, self-esteem, being confident that they can make it, being aware of, is this a right fit? Because it's still very male dominated. I think sharing my stories, my experience, and other people that I've worked with, who identify as female really helped move the needle for young women to take risks, to be able to step out and advocate for themselves, and also negotiate, which is something I think people shy away from sometimes, whether it's asking for that promotion or negotiating when they're getting a job offer, especially for fresh out of college. I think having conversations like that and be able to influence them and give them advice has really helped the next generation of women in music grow and expand what was possible from the time when I was directly involved.
Do you feel like there is room for people getting their first job offer to successfully negotiate? I feel like a lot of the time the message that kind of gets put across is, sometimes having to work for very low salaries and everything that you have to put in order to make it. But then I also feel like it's still important to ask for your worth and, make sure you're being paid fairly at the same time.
Absolutely. I believe there will always be some element of you have to pay your dues, right? But you have to ask. The worst they can say is no, but you have to ask. And asking as a practice will start you having that mindset of always A, knowing your worth, and B, being vocal about it.
Yeah.
So if you shy away from it and don't like advocate for yourself, then you never know what's possible. They could say no, they could come back with some other alternative, extra comp days, or I don't know, some other perks. But I think it's always critical to ask when you can.
For me, it was interesting because I entered the music industry when I already had many, many years in marketing. So I wasn't entry level in my career, but I was new to music. So I still had some of those struggles, but I didn't come in quite at that entry level point. But I see a lot of people, especially trying to make it in the industry, living in these bigger cities, working for
Mhm.
minimum wage at a lot of these companies, and I wonder like where's the balance between paying your dues and when it kind of becomes a little bit exploitative at times.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely. Definitely. And, students who come through our program, they do internships. So they gain real world experience straight out the gate. And sometimes that can be a trial and error of I know I don't want to do management or I know I don't want to do marketing and them finding their way, but they still are gaining real world experience, which is a testament to our program, but also a testament to what they're dedicated to and how they hunger for being in this business and they want to chase the opportunities. And I think anyone who graduates from the music business and the music tech programs here at NYU who've been influenced or empowered by what we're doing here at the Institute, they will go on to do bigger and better things because of the experiences they're having here. But they have to know that and be able to speak to it.
Yeah, and make sure that they're presenting that experience in a way that actually helps them get to where they
Absolutely.
want to be and move up from there.
Yes.
While looking at kind of the industry more broadly, what is the biggest issue that you hope to see improve or change in maybe the next 5 years?
I would say pay equity and maybe a sustainable work-life model. Um, I know there's a lot of talk right now around mental health and wellness, and I know there's some great organizations like Backline that are there for people in the industry. But I think it starts inherently with you. You know what you can tackle and what you can't, and you know what your bandwidth is and what your workload is. And with it being in music, a lot of us love music. It's the thing that moves us. So going to a show or some other activity like that blends the lines of work and social life or like recreational engagement, but you have to have a division between the two.
Yeah.
And I think with pay equity, I just feel that women still are underpaid compared to our peers who are male.
And there still isn't, and again, this has been coming up in all of my conversations, there still isn't a lot of transparency
Correct.
in what companies pay in general. And then of course there's the pay gap issue as well.
Exactly. I think that is something that needs to continue to evolve until it's equal.
And talking about the work-life balance and wellness as well, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like from what I've seen, obviously there's this huge remote work trend that started with the pandemic, but it seems
Mhm.
like in the music industry, a lot of companies are still more resistant to it and have what they might call hybrid, but still like really lean on the in-person and are a little bit less flexible. Not all of them, but what are you kind of seeing around that?
I think it's still a mix. I probably feel that many corporations want everyone to be in person, but the flexibility that we've learned from the pandemic is zero to none. Like, especially if you have a family, I think that even has another layer of complexity where if you can do your job well from anywhere, it really doesn't matter. How is that different from, okay, you're going to send me on a business trip, but you're still expecting to answer all my emails and be on call for a conference call or a Zoom meeting, or if I'm attending a conference and I still have to steer the ship, right? Um, I think that speaks to the work-life balance where if employees are able to work more remotely or consistently work remotely, whether it's 3 days a week in person, 2 days remotely from home, it just gives you a balance. And I think people can be more productive because they can take care of other things that they're juggling.
Yeah. I definitely agree, and I think it's been proven that that works and people can do that. I hope that the trend continues to give people more of the flexibility that can support their wellness. Because again, and I kind of feel like it all ties together, sometimes you are making it work for maybe a lower salary than some of your peers in other industries, even
Mhm.
as you move up. And so any perks and benefits that you can get that can help you out with just managing the whole picture of your life, I feel like would be really beneficial.
Absolutely.
Well, looking at your entire career so far, what are the standout, proudest moments for you?
Mm, I think the biggest thing lately for me that's a standout proud moment has been interacting with students I have mentored, students I have given, shared my experience with, seeing them in the industry, seeing them thrive and get promoted to higher levels, and just watching that come full circle. Having been in the industry for so many years, having nurtured many students, watched them graduate, and then see them blossom is really very special for me. And I think the proudest thing I've seen.
And I'm sure you must get to have a lot of those really rewarding moments in the position you're in now. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's been great.
Well, since it is Women's History Month, one of my favorite questions is talking about and shouting out any women-owned businesses that you like to support.
Uh, so I have a little dress shop that I really, really love called Zuri. It's spelled Zuri. I think their website is Shop Zuri. And they have a philosophy that's just it's just one dress, which you can probably wear 3 ways. Um, and their philosophy offers a vibrant, simple style that is very sustainable but versatile. They prioritize ethical manufacturing. Their textiles come from Ghana and Kenya. I believe their production facilities are in Kenya. So they're creating jobs in Kenya as well. And I love their brand. The prints are fun. It's a really easy outfit to put together. I would definitely support Zuri more.
Awesome. I love that they have the sustainability focus as well. That's great. Well, thank you so much. This has been a really great conversation. Any last thoughts that you want to share for Women's History Month?
I would say to any young woman watching this, don't be afraid to take risks. I know I originally not from New York. I grew up in New Orleans. If I hadn't taken the chance to leave home and pursue this wild dream of working in music, I would not be where I am now. So I think take calculated risks. You have to get uncomfortable to find your way, and speak your voice.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time in this conversation.
Thank you.